Hi, I'm Zoe Zung. I'm a marketing partner at the Entrepreneurship Hub, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Zaid. I'm a tech partner here at the Hub, and today we're interviewing Andrew and Tucker. Andrew and Tucker, do you guys mind giving us a little bit about yourselves?
Thank you guys very much for having us. My name is Andrew Yowell. I'm the head of operations for the AI Club. I'm currently a sophomore studying economics.
Yeah. My name is Tucker Peters. I am also a sophomore here at W&M AI, and I am a finance and government double major and the president of the AI Club.
So we wanted to ask, what inspired you to start the AI Club? Was there a specific moment or a challenge that sparked the idea?
Yeah, I think that the reason why I wanted to found the AI Club is because W&M AI is, honestly, in my opinion, the perfect place to do so. We are one of the oldest liberal arts institutions in this nation, and that coupled along with being a R1 research institution makes it a perfect combination between thinking about important changes within our world, but also being robust enough to actually act upon those changes and act upon our thinking. And so I think that it's the perfect place to think about ethical AI, moral AI, and then kind of garner those thoughts into something tangible.
It's really cool.
So when did you guys decide to collaborate with each other to start the club? So how did you rope him into it?
So I actually met Andrew way back first week of W&M AI. He,
I lost a bet.
Yes.
And we had a demo for Professor Crace, who used to be here. And that demo was going up on stage. You had to throw a ping pong ball into a trash can. It was all about like peer pressure and your own thoughts versus what people were actually thinking. And I lost a bet. So I ended up on that stage throwing those ping pong, which I made $1 doing it, which was nice. And then
$1.
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So then me and Tucker crossed paths about a week or so after that.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you're that guy that was standing up there on stage.
The guy that made the
Yeah. And we connected pretty much instantly after that. We figured out that we read some of the same books, had some of the same interests, and so we started hanging out. And when I was founding the AI Club, I needed someone that just gets stuff done. And Andrew's that guy. He's someone that if you put something in front of him, he will attack it with 110% of his energy. And I really admire that about him. He's really a go-getter and doer. And so when I was founding the AI Club and I needed someone who could really get stuff done, Andrew is, yes, exactly. Andrew is the first person I thought of.
Very cool.
I need that skill.
Yeah.
So starting a club from scratch isn't easy. How'd you go from idea to reality? I guess we kind of talked about that, but what was the idea behind it?
Well, I think really where I took the AI Club originally was trying to partner with as many people, as many faculty as possible at first. And the reason why I went about that is because in order to incite some sort of change on campus, right, there's a whole bunch of checks and balances that happen at the faculty level, right? That's how it's supposed to be. But the hard part about AI, right, is that everything moves so fast, right? The status quo, that was maybe the status quo for 6 months within the field, right, which is a pretty short amount of time, can be completely upended within a week or even a day.
Wow.
It takes one paper, right? And so you really need a student body that can keep up with change fast, right? People can adapt quickly. And I wanted to make sure that as I set that up, we would get support from people to make sure that students can do that, right? And so I think that's the one special thing about the AI Club is that we try to work very close with the faculty and the school here, and that kind of translates into some of our other projects. But anything,
I know Dr. Chung is very involved too with the AI Club.
She's amazing. And I think that's also like one very notable thing about W&M AI is that there are so many amazing faculty and professionals that this university holds. And I think that every single student should take advantage of that, right? We are unique in that you can meet with pretty high level faculty, and that just doesn't happen at a Virginia Tech or another leading research institution, right?
Shade.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not
No specific shade. Examples.
No, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. But it's something that's very notable about.
It's just like the school's bigger, so you're bound to be less in touch with the professors and faculty. That makes sense.
Yes.
On the topic of Rachel Chung or Professor Chung, she will be presenting for us once we get back from break on the 15th as well.
Yes. Everyone should come out.
Wednesday at 7 p.m.
What is that event?
That
Well,
is
I saw
how
that.
to draw a neural network.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Professor
That's
Chung.
cool.
Well,
So make sure to go to that, guys.
speaking of neural network,
So so you guys clearly have a good grasp on AI, but for somebody that isn't as well versed, how would you define it to them?
Well, I think that AI is one very broad, So I caution everyone when they go about trying to learn more about AI, because there are hundreds of sub-disciplines within the AI field, right? But the AI that we're all used to, right? For example, ChatGPT, which is a large language model. Basically, how I break it down to every single person is that it's a whole bunch of probabilities, right? And you hear that definition a lot of. It's a whole bunch of maybe tokens, right? Each word is like a token, and it's just guessing the next best token. But I like to kind of give an analogy of a brain, right? Your brain, since you were born, you learn through a lot of yeses and nos, right? If you were to go over to that oven over there, right, and touch it, your brain will automatically tell you, no, don't touch it because you're going to get burned, right? And you learn that from experience, right? So you're basically just running a whole bunch of experiences through a probability network and creating some sort of almost like brain-like function where it tells you yes and no, right? And so that's the way I like to describe it. It's a lot like how a baby learns, right? It's a bunch of probabilities and you learn through yeses and nos. And that's kind of how LLMs work in a very simplistic way. If you're a PhD out there, you're going to think I am completely wrong. But again, I think just to break it down in a digestible way, that's the way. Great way to think about it.
Yeah.
I think that's important because not a lot of people know it's more than just Chat GPT. So being able to talk about like plain English is a really good skill. So I guess our next question is, what kind of things do members actually do in the club? Like projects, discussions, competitions?
Yeah, so there are 3 pillars within the AI Club, the first of which being research and project development. That is one I'm most excited about. We are trying to do a lot of different projects within the campus and encourage other students to do so as well. On the education side, we really want to be the people that can help students stay up to date on what's going on and provide tangible experiences for them to do that. And then obviously for the marketing side, we want to just get all the knowledge out there, right? If you want to touch upon maybe some of the initiatives we're doing right now in events, that'd be
Tucker is on the research and development side, and I come from more of like the education of how can we teach as many people as we can. So the same way you're saying of just being able to explain it in plain terms or knowing what beyond what ChatGPT is, like that's what we're trying to do for those introductory level students of like how can you dip in your toes to just learn a little bit more beyond using it every day. Like use it every day, but at least understand how it works. So really education initiatives, we're trying to build out workshops, and we've kind of learned a lot of it is iterative. We're going to try some stuff. We're going to realize, okay, so there wasn't as many people as we thought here. Or maybe there was a lot of people here. So and iterating based on what we can see and kind of how can we best address students' needs.
Yeah. I think that also comes down to like really making sure that the right people are leading those initiatives as well. Like we have some very accomplished people who are running these pillars as well. One of which is a graduate student, Asher, who's our head of education. We also have another PhD student as our head of research, very accomplished junior as well as our head of product. And so we really want to make sure that we're attracting the top talent at William & Mary so that, we can lead by example. Yes, and build a strong example, like team and examples. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about the Case-a-thon a little bit, but tell us more about the Case-a-thon. What is it? How is it different from other like hackathons that are more common in like computer science or data science? And like, how did you guys come up with the Case-a-thon and stuff like that?
Yeah, the Case-a-thon idea came up it was probably about a month and a half ago to look back and you see the kind of turnaround that we have been in. But it was brought up, Dean Schmidt is our faculty advisor, and some people within the CDSP school have been recommending that we hold an event and that there could be funds that we could apply for through holding an event. And we realized that they recommended that about two months ago is like we could hold this event. Homecoming weekend could be a good time because you'll have alumni in town, so it's a good time to get alumni interaction, but also a good time for students to show off what they can really create at William & Mary. So we came to the idea of hackathons are typically 24 to 48 hours. Trying to get people to commit that much time on a homecoming weekend is challenging. It really is. So the whole hackathon idea kind of went away. You also have AnHacks, which was 2 weeks before this. So how are you going to compete with something that's already been established? And then came the idea of a Case-a-thon, which is more of a business niche, a consulting niche, I guess. But that's part of the club, is we're trying to attract broad audiences. So the Case-a-thon came between the idea of the two of a Case-a-thon is essentially you have a week development time. So prompts are released October 11th, and then October 17th that closes. So you've got about a week of development time, and then you have to come pitch in person. You have to demo the live web app that you have built. So you get the hackathon aspect of you're creating your own tangible product, and you get the Case-a-thon aspect of we've given you a prompt, you have to follow this prompt, and then you have to come present on it.
So you're basically taking the best of both worlds to make just one really strong competition.
Yes. And I also think that, like, to touch upon something you said before, like, we don't necessarily want to compete with other clubs on campus. We want to make sure that we're all working together. And so our idea around this is, like, we're trying to combine the best of both worlds, because admittedly, we're not going to throw a great hackathon compared to ACM. They do an amazing job. And so there's more or less around, like, how can we provide the most amount of value to campus where we kind of can combine all different areas of expertise, because at the end of the day, AI is a very holistic field, like I was saying before, and it touches every single major area, right? So there's more or less around, like, how can we enhance what's already happening on campus, make so that students have even more opportunities to continue to iterate in.
Yeah, instead of reinventing the wheel.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, true. That's pretty good. Like, accessibility too is pretty huge when it comes to AI. Like, people typically think it's just a computer science major thing. So making it more holistic is definitely really good in terms of pushing that. And so we also wanted to ask, like, you managed to raise $13,000 in funding, which is incredible, and that's huge. So how did that come together? Like, what was the entrepreneurial side of that?
The entrepreneurial side of that was we understood that there was an opportunity to receive some funds through the school. So then you kind of have to figure out what value you have to show for students to be able to receive those funds. Like, what kind of value prop? And the same way in entrepreneurship, like, what kind of product are you going to offer? What is your value prop to the individual? We have to craft our value prop to the school of why they should allocate these funds towards us for students. So that was kind of where the Case-a-thon came from. Like, how can we create the most value? If we do a hackathon, there's a hackathon 2 weeks before that. If we do a case competition, then how much of AI are we really tying in on that, and how much are we crossing toes? So a little bit of product iteration and then product market fit, like, to throw an entrepreneurship. That's something we'll learn as we go. Like, does this really work, and can it sustain over the long run? But that's...
Yeah. So I'm really seeing how y'all work together. Like, you're definitely more like the business side, and then you got like the tech. Yeah.
While we're on the topic as well, so the 10,000 came from the school, and then another 3,000 came from Professor Yi He in the data science department, who donated that 3,000 from his CCI Commonwealth Cyber Initiative grant.
So he just really loved the idea, and they wanted to go give it to their...
Within the Case-a-thon, there'll be a general prompt for AI in education, and there'll be another one for benefic sciences, which is like marine sciences prompts. So it'll provide the prompt and the data to go along with that, and students can cater their solutions towards that.
And is that something that he'd like look to use?
I'm not sure. I think it depends on the quality of the solution.
Okay, that's fair. So maybe that's something you guys can do. Maybe go to the Case-a-thon and make something that the professor can use.
That was absolutely one of our points as well. It's like, we tried to make it applicable to things that are going on right now. So, like, if there is something here, like, we're aiming to have faculty and alumni there, it's like, how can we then take this somewhere farther if this was like some great opportunity? Like, how can we use this?
All right, so what kind of projects or ideas do you guys hope to see come out of the AI clubs?
Yeah, I think one of the main objectives of our first pillar, right, which is research and project development, is to enable every major to go out and create with AI, right? I'm a finance and government double major. I had absolutely no technical experience whatsoever before high school, or sorry, not before high school, before college. And it was through my journey with AI that I was able to learn somewhat how to code, but more or less create with it. And I think that's a really important thing, because every entrepreneur... The entrepreneurial story of the past maybe 20 years has been either you are a CS major and you're entrepreneurial and you can go out and build something great, right? Or you come up with an idea, you pitch it, but you still need to find the talent to go out and build it, right? But now really anyone can go out and build. And I think that is something that we really want to see people doing, is like, if you're an art major or you're a philosophy major, right? And you've never touched code before, we want to empower you to go out and actually build web apps and mobile applications, for example. That's just two of the things you can build with AI. And there's many other things you can do. But we want to empower you to want to come up with those ideas, but also go out and build it, right? And that is the center point of entrepreneurship, right? It's that whole process of iteration and defining your scope and the whole process of coming up with the idea. But the other half of it is actually executing upon that. And so I think once people have the ability to execute, really great things are made. And that is what I'm really excited for. And I think that's really our main mission here.
Like giving people the ability to execute.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the alleyway to do that.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
Well, what are some of the things you kind of want to see in that too? Like, what do you want to see people execute, both through the club or through the Case-a-thon?
Yeah. Well, I think it would be like wrong of me to kind of define what I want the scope of it to be, right? I think what written into the AI Club constitution in it of itself is the fact that anyone can propose and pursue a project within the AI Club. And as long as it's like morally and ethically okay, right? Obviously, we will say, yes, you are a project manager within the AI Club. You can do it. Go for it. We're going to support you, right? And I think that is a way that we want to foster creativity within the AI Club. And I don't know, like I could say I want to see more projects around maybe like, I don't know, like marine science, right? Which would be great. But that means I'm limiting the scope and I'm stifling the creativity of someone in the philosophy department, right? And so I challenge William & Mary's students to say, if you're curious about something, just go for it. I think that's honestly the most important step is like, especially in entrepreneurship, it's just, if it fails, you're failing forward, you're learning the lessons. But at the end of the day, the building process is filled with lessons. And so I'm just excited to see people go for it.
Yeah. I think that's a great lesson to end it on. I think that's something that we should all start applying. Go for it.
Yep.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, yeah. Thank you for coming and talk with us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming.